guys, welcome back to Practically Creative with Melissa. I'm Melissa. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's good to see everybody. Today I am going to make a little tray. I want to put charm squares in it. That's what I'm always trying to store. And I found a new way to make it. And I've done it a couple of times. And now I want to try and show it to you guys. So without any further ado, we're going to get started here. So I'm going to bring you down to my table and show you what I've got. So what I have here is a 15.5 inch wide by 20.5 inch, or 20.5 inch wide by 15.5 inch tall. I cut my little interfacing a little bit shy, but I'm going to go ahead and go with it because it won't hurt anything in the long run. I do have fusible interfacing ironed down here. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to take it and you're going to fold it in half. Let me consult my notes, because I wrote it down for myself when I did it. Okay, so we're going to sew it together, match up our corners here. And we are going to sew it together once we have everything matched up. Okay, so here's where we start. We fold it in half, and then we're going to sew up here, across, leave ourselves a hand opening here, and then sew down this side. It's just going to be a straight stitch. So come over here to the machine with me, and I'm using a 2.5 inch stitch length, and I picked this blue so that it would show the thread. And I am using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I am back stitching, although we're going to box some corners in a minute, so that probably won't matter in the long run. Make sure you keep your seam allowance even as you do this. Now when you get over here to where you want your opening, that you leave yourself plenty of room. Be generous on this because you're going to do a lot of manipulating, and I want to make sure that you have enough room to put your little hand in there and do what you need to do. Or if you're like me, your big hand in there. Alright, I'm going to snip these two threads out right now because they're pulling. Cut our threads. This fabric really frays. It's a fat quarter from Walmart. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to call this the right side and this the left side. Okay, so I've boxed this corner and I want to measure 5 inches across. Hopefully the camera will pick up that pink. I tried writing with the black, but it wouldn't write on here. I'm going to go over to this corner here, which is the farthest corner but on the same right side. And I'm going to box that corner out as well. At the same width, I want 5 inches there also. Making sure that the seam on the bottom, or the crease on the bottom, matches my seam. We're going to mark this out at 5. Go under there. Put my clips in. And then I'm going to take my 2 lines and I'm going to match them up. So where I drew the lines on the inside, I'm going to match. I'm going to pin them together and then I'm going to sew right along that seam, making sure that everything is matched up perfectly. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the left side. Make sure that end is clipped out right, and I discovered a slightly different, what seems easier way to me to do this, pretty much by accident. So what I did was I made sure everything was laid out together. Clipped it together at the end. Again, make sure they're all right and they're all the way you want them. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark right across here at the 5-inch mark. I am still going to use my clips on the sides here. And if this doesn't work, of course, you will never see this video. Let's go over here. I did top stitch there. And then I'm just following that line I drew right across. Back stitch. trim threads. Gather up all my little clips and put them where they belong. And then let's snip threads. Alright, now for the moment of truth. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch seam, and I'm going to cut those boxed corners off. I'm going to throw them away. I'm in. Okay, everything's sewn. We still have an opening. And now we are going to turn it out. Keep turning. It'll all come out eventually. And just about the time you think, this isn't going to work, it works. It doesn't. Did you think I wasn't going to make it? Okay, so now we have our tray. And I'm still pushing my corners. Now the size that you box your corners is the width of your tray, and everything else becomes part of your tray by itself. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my fingers and putting them in at that corner, and then I'm pressing down with my fingers. Just so I can fold everything and put my ironing mat back over here. So I can give it all a fast iron. So I'm going to bring the iron in here. And I'm going to iron into my corners. And then I'm going to iron right at the corners. This helps me shape the sides of my basket. And I'm going to take and I'm going to stitch right down along the bottom edges of the long sides. Your sewing machine can handle this unless your fabric is super thick. So this is easy. I'm doing about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm sewing from one corner to the other corner. See how I did that? Now that side's going to stand up with no issue. Going to do the same over here. And then on each of my 4 corners, I'm just going to take and pinch that little top. I'm going to sew down maybe 1/2 inch. The thread I'm using is variegated, so you may not be able to see that one. But we'll keep going. You'll see it. And I'm going to snip threads here. Now those of you who have been around for a while know that I am allergic to hand stitching, just like Stephanie over at Stephanie Stitches. I appreciate her letting me borrow that line from her because it is appropriate. Actually, I should say my arthritis is allergic to hand stitching. Anytime I try to step up and do it, Arthur says, hello, I thought we talked about this. So, no hand stitching happens here. But I'm going to show you how I close up that little piece on the bottom. See it right there? There's still an opening. And what I'm going to do, I just had it in my hand not a second ago, is I'm going to take a little piece of that fusible interfacing and I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to tuck it right inside of that little line, and I'm going to make sure that both pieces get ironed down to that. and my little opening will be closed. So here we go. We'll just put some heat on it and it'll be done in a second. And just like that, I've got my opening closed up. My little bag is done. I still have to pull threads off everywhere. But that's the way it goes when you sew, right? So now I have a little tray that I can set up here. It can either hold things like my scissors and my tools and stuff, or I can use it to hold fat quarters, and that's probably what it's going to hold. I have some baskets up on my shelf that hold fat quarters, and they're just kind of tall, so I can't see anything in them. So here's our little bag, or our little tray, all sewn up and ironed up. Now, if you want to make this taller or shorter, you can change your measurements. Mine is 5 inches wide by, let's see what I got here, ruler. I've got just about 1 3/4 inches tall, which is shallow enough for what I want to use it for. And if you wanted to make it taller, you would just make that 15-inch number bigger. So mine came out to 1.5 tall by 10 long and 5 inches wide. Yep, 5 1/4 if you count the little edge. So I don't think that's too bad. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. Oh. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know what I just did with that camera besides put it on the sky. I appreciate you watching. I hope you guys all have a good day. If you like what you see, or if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please consider giving me a like and subscribe down there. I'll put some instructions in the description box for us. I heard somebody call it the doodly doo the other day, and I thought that was really cute. But I appreciate you coming along with me. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.